What's up, everybody? I almost forgot to unmute my mic. That's why it took a second for the, for the screen to pop up. I was like, oh, here we go. Oh, wait a minute. Can't even hear me. Welcome back to Holiday Special Edition of Ask the King for 2017. I'm DSP, of course. Welcome, everyone. If you did not see part one, if you're watching this on demand on YouTube, part one should already be live, so please head over there and check it out. If you've already seen part one, then welcome back, right? Also to my Twitch live stream viewers who are watching this live as I broadcast it, welcome back. I got a 25-bit cheer shout out for Popsicolo. He says, I'm in the market for some new work pants, flame retardant red velvet work pants with white fur trim. If you're not aware, folks, oh my God, excuse me. For my long-term viewers who have been around for a while, that is a reference, if you can remember, wow, Christmas 2010, 7 years ago, folks. I was trying to make gameplay videos on a website called blip.tv. And during that time period, they were running constant ads for Zappos, this website that apparently is for basically work-related clothing. And one of the ads was someone calling in to order pants for Santa, basically. Oh my God. So anyway, folks, thank you very much for watching Ask the King. I really do appreciate it. And I hope that you enjoy the show. Let's get into part two. We just finished up with the Patreon questions, all right? We just finished them. And now it's time to roll into the forum questions. People who posted up questions on my website, thekingofhate.com. Sound good, everybody? Got my delicious holiday seltzer water here. So I'll be belching like crazy. All right. The first question is from Gustavo123777, and Gustavo asks the following. He says, Phil, I'm wondering, what age did you get a full beard? I'm asking for the fact that it really bothers me not having a full beard at the age of 20 years old, even though I'm of Italian heritage. Thanks. I started growing my mustache in elementary school, or grammar school, or whatever you want to call it. By the time that I was in 8th grade, I could almost grow a full mustache, but I wasn't really getting much facial hair. It was actually, I'd say, the first or second year of high school that my whole beard started growing in. And I remember, because when I started shaving, I was trying all different kinds of things. Straight razors, electric razors, different kinds of aftershave, different kinds of stuff. And I remember that my face sadly started like breaking out and stuff because of it, because, you know, your face normally wouldn't be shaven, and you shave it, your skin gets all irritated. Full-on beard, probably I'd say by sophomore or junior year of high school, which I would have been, 16, 17 years old. I could grow a full-on beard if I wanted to and grow it out. Of course, that was not really allowed. I went to a Catholic high school, private school, and they didn't allow full-on. You could grow like a little bit, but you couldn't go crazy. If you came in looking like a bum, they yelled at you. They wanted you to shave. So for the most part, I really didn't have control over maybe if I wanted to grow full-on facial hair until I was in college. But honestly, I never really grew full-on facial hair until 2010. It was the year 2010 when I lost my job. Was laid off out of nowhere, no warning or anything. And that was the time when I was going to start trying to do YouTube full-time. And I said, let's do something completely different. At that point, I had only had short hair. I grew my hair out. I always kind of had like a messy, unkept look on my face. I said, instead of doing that, let's try this like goatee, Van Dyke goatee, whatever you want to call it. And the rest is history, right? 7 years I've had this style now. But yeah, I was able to grow it at a pretty relatively young age. All right. Shout out to Dean Jones, who, first of all, if you guys aren't aware, designed my current line of Teespring products. You know, the King of Retro and all that. In fact, actually, while I'm talking about it, I can show you guys. There it is. He designed all of those designs you see right there, okay? Pretty neat. And he's actually working on a new line of Teespring products for 2018. My 10-year anniversary, because yes, 2018, ladies and gentlemen, if you can believe it, 10 years I will have been making YouTube videos. Pretty crazy, right? I'm excited to celebrate my 10-year anniversary as being a game, online gamer, online personality, whatever you want to call it. It's actually going to be the fall of 2018 when it's the 10-year anniversary. In fact, there's more questions in here about that, so I'm not going to go into detail about it, but I wanted to give Dean a shout out for the work that he's done designing some of this stuff, okay? His question is, he says, since you've been uploading various content to YouTube for almost 10 years, do you feel that you've impacted the gaming community on the platform in any way? Being one of the originators of uploading monetized gameplay videos and at the same time having a large audience and influence, how do you stick to your original and raw gameplay formula but at the same time continually adapt so your content appeals to an ever-changing market? Well, first of all, let's answer these in order because there's several questions that are kind of loaded in there, all right? First off, do I feel that I've impacted the gaming community on the platform in any way? Absolutely. Have I impacted them today? Maybe not so much, but back in the day, when gameplay was just starting to become more mainstream, I told you, when I started uploading videos to YouTube, there was not even a gaming classification for videos or channels. It didn't exist, all right? It was only when I started uploading videos to YouTube, it was that era when people had only been doing like straight up boring walkthroughs and stuff like that. It was not popular on YouTube to do raw content gameplay, full-length playthroughs with commentary over it. It was instead more like, oh, this is a walkthrough of how you beat this. There was no just kind of watch someone play a game from start to finish and give their reactionary commentary and have fun with it. I was one of the very few people who got popular on YouTube for doing it. Am I the first person to do it? No. And it's hilarious because I hate to say it. Some of the first people who did it are mad at me. They don't like me because I was one of the people who got popular on YouTube for it and they never blew up in the way that I did or got popular or made as much money as I did or anything like that doing it. And now they hate me. Whatever. Have your fucking butthurt grudges. I don't give a fuck. All I know is I didn't know about those people anyway. I just went on YouTube and did my thing, became popular for it, and that's all I care about, okay? So, yeah, and that was way back in 2008. I know for a fact from people who have directly told me that I influenced them. People like SSOHPKC and some of the other people who have been in the creatures over the years have actually come out publicly and said, yeah, it was actually Phil who kind of influenced us to decide. We watched his videos and said, wow, that's fun. He's a funny guy. Maybe we could do that too. And then they jumped into that whole kind of a realm. Now, of course, they didn't do exactly the same thing I did. They had their own spin with edited content and other shit as well. But, they kind of got their start watching me, got inspired, and then jumped in and did their own thing. Much like, I've always said this. It was the Angry Video Game Nerd and the Nostalgia Critic were two people who I watched and held in high esteem. And I said, man, these guys don't have a lot of money, don't have high budgets, it's obvious. But they just went out there, just did funny videos, and they got noticed on the internet. I could do that too. And I did, and look, I did. So, I did and got popular off of it. Pretty cool. So, that being said, I know for a fact that I influenced, and that's the thing. Now, I'm sure there's big YouTubers I've influenced. I'm sure there's a ton of smaller YouTubers I've influenced. I've said this before, and people like this to make fun of me for it, whatever. PewDiePie. Yes, I know, but PewDiePie, actually, if you watch before he ever uploaded a video to YouTube, was watching my content. He used to watch and favorite my content all the time, or like it, whatever you want to call it. And then he referenced me in his videos when he was starting off and just becoming popular. He used to reference me in his videos, and then I guess he realized, gee, I shouldn't do that anymore, and he stopped. But even him, that's how long I've been around, 10 years. I've outlasted so many YouTubers who came here, did it, and are gone now. And you know what I mean? Even some of the biggest guys now, I did it longer than them and way before they ever did. So, yes, I know for a fact I've directly influenced many people who do YouTube videos. Okay. What? SSOHPKC died? Are you serious? I hope someone's joking. Because if that's true, I have not heard that at all. And that's horrible news. Because he was a good guy, man. No, that can't be true. I think we would have heard about it if he died. I didn't hear about that. That's crazy. That's for people trying to fuck with me in the stream chat, man. Why do I believe it? I should, He is dead? No, his channel died. Alright, I'm not going to read stream chat. I'm seriously not going to read it. Because... Now, yeah, people know he didn't die, but he doesn't do videos anymore, which I know. I know he quit YouTube and everything, but... people saying he's dead. Oh, my God. Anyway. So, let's continue on with this question before I get totally derailed here with stupidity. So, his second question is, How do you stick to your original and raw gameplay formula, but at the same time adapt so your content appeals to an ever-changing market? You know what? I'm going to be God's honest true to everything. I don't care about that. For me, the core of what I've always done on YouTube was playing a game, whether I enjoyed it or not, and just having funny reactionary commentary to it, period. Being an average guy, an average Joe gamer, right? I've been here for 10 years. I blew up. I was huge on YouTube. But do I have giant sponsorships? Do I get paid tons of money to kiss games' asses or whatever? No. And honestly, I would never do that. I would never accept a sponsorship, a paid sponsorship, where I was told I can only say positive things 100% of the time. And guess what? Every other big fucking YouTuber does that. Everyone. And I would not do that because that's not what I pride myself on, and that's not how I got popular. I got popular because you know when I play a game, right, it's going to be raw, unedited, my true feelings about the game, and you're going to find out for sure about how I react to that game. You're not going to get a paid playthrough of, you know, Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor, where people were paid thousands upon thousands, if not even more money, to just kiss the game's ass, which is what a lot of big YouTubers did. I wouldn't do that. I would never do that. I would never accept a sponsorship like that. But they've all gone out there and done that, and they all get free copies of the games in advance, and they all do all massively positive streams of the games days in advance before you can even buy it. For me, I've always prided myself on being the normal guy, the guy who's in line with you. I get the games the same way you do, the same time you do. I play the games the same way you do. I am you. I don't think that I'm any better than any of you guys who watch me or gals who watch me. I don't. I feel like we're all just normal people having fun. And the fact that I have popularity based off of that kind of a grassroots feeling is freaking awesome. Sadly, that's not what YouTube has become. YouTube has become an elitist place where this upper echelon of gamers get everything early, get exclusive access to everything. Oh, come watch our promotional live stream for the new fighting game where 3 top players who we handpicked it to fucking, you know, advertise our game, get the game first. So obviously they get preferential treatment. Come watch this guy stream this game 4 days fucking early. I'm not all about that, you know. For me, I don't care about being the top guy, getting the shit early, being in line with the edited video trends. I just do my thing, all right? Not to say that I haven't made improvements. Direct capture, live streaming, improving over the years with things like the better quality mic, the soundproofing foam, and things like that. Yes, you know, edited style content when it was working on YouTube, like KO Gaming blew up in 2016. I had a video with 1 million views. I could have kept that going if YouTube didn't totally demonetize the fucking channel because it's a piece of shit broken business. But that being said, I literally have not really adapted my content to an ever-changing market, all right? I haven't. And because of that, my popularity that was sky high in 2012 has plummeted, and I am where I am right now. But what I can tell you, there's a market for my content because I'm still here 10 years later. Because guess what? This year, my Twitch channel grew exponentially. Amount of subs, amount of follows, amount of views blew up. There's a market for what I do. There are people who want to see me just play games and have fun and not be Mr. Commercial Asshole who's here to fucking tell you every single game's good and kiss its ass to make sponsorship paychecks. And I don't get sponsorships. And that's why. Because I'm known as the guy who, you know, that's, you know, we can't rely on that guy because, you know, what's he going to say about our game or whatever? Oh, well, you know, it is what it is, folks. So there you go. To answer your question, Dean Jones, I don't. I literally don't. I've just been here. And honestly, the thing is, I was lucky because I started when I did. I got a hardcore fan base when I did, and they've been with me for this whole ride. If I didn't start in 2008, I would not be popular. If I started this around 2013, 2014, I wouldn't be popular at all because that was the era when everything was changing and everyone's attitudes changed and everything. But now people know that's the guy who's done YouTube videos for 10 years, and he's had ups and downs. There's things he's known for negatively. There's things he's known for positively. But I'm here, and I'm a staple. You know, I'm not going anywhere. So, there you go. All right. Kill Chan asks the following question. It says, along with the recent release of Cuphead, the infamous difficulty in games debate has made its return. I've seen some people claiming that every single player game should include... Excuse me. Let's try that again. I've seen I've seen people claiming every single player game should include an easy or even a skip the boss entirely mode that allows a wider audience to enjoy the art style and atmosphere of the game and see the ending. In my opinion, what these people don't realize is that this mentality is exactly what brought us years of gimmicks, survival horror games that turned into watered down shooters, Tomb Raider games where you could just skip tombs, complex FPS games turned into streamlined shooting galleries, and games all about graphics and almost no gameplay. Your 2 cents. Yeah, I mean, Killchan has a major point here. Look at how games have evolved. You cannot deny, ladies and gentlemen, that over the past 20 years, as games became major media, more profitable than movies, television, and music combined, that video games have not become easier and more watered down. This 100% is correct. This 100% is a factual statement because more people want to get into it, but not everyone has the time or the experience or the effort or the skill to jump in and be able to play a challenging game from start to finish. A lot of people don't even want to invest that, right? So what you see is an interesting mix. You get games like The Order 1886 that literally, if you actually figure it out, has about 2 to 3 hours of gameplay and about 5 hours of cutscenes and was sold for a full $60 price tag. It's not a real game. Right? You see games like the Telltale series of games where I just played one yesterday called Life is Strange Before the Storm. I literally did everything wrong and the game just continues anyway. So it doesn't even matter if you do the gameplay elements correctly. The game continues. There's no fail in the game. So that being said, all right, undoubtedly we've seen the watering down of games. But it's funny because we still got franchises like Dark Souls, right? Like Cuphead that just came out. And it was funny, Cuphead, the big debate about Cuphead was that there were people who wanted to play this retro-style shoot-'em-up game, but they had no experience with retro-style shoot-'em-up games. So they tried to play it, and Cuphead literally was made to be fan service for people who like grueling, challenging games and wanted to do a retro-style shoot-'em-up game that did not pull any punches. And they couldn't beat it. And there's people out there who still to this day still can't beat it. You know, it's been out for what, 4 months now? 3 months? They can't beat it. And they're so angry because their friends beat it, this media reviewer beat it, this YouTuber beat it, this streamer beat it, and they can't beat it. And they can't wrap their head around the fact that not everyone out there is going to be a high-level gamer. They can't get that fact. I can't understand it. Everyone else can beat this game and I can't. This isn't fair. You know, every game should be easy, all right? I'm going to give you guys some perspective here. Ladies and gentlemen, back when Street Fighter 4 was released. Okay, Street Fighter 4. That was what, 2009 for console? 2008 in arcades, 2009 for consoles, right? When Street Fighter 4 was released, it was revealed that the makers, Capcom, had made the game dumbed down for the masses. And what I mean by that is, let's say, for example, you wanted to do a Dragon Punch, a Shoryuken uppercut with Ryu. It's one of the best moves in the game, has invincibility properties, it's a reversal move, it's an off the ground. Basically, it's one of the best moves in the entire game. Well, the traditional motion for doing a Dragon Punch was you tap forward or press forward on your gamepad, then you have to tap down or go down with your joystick, and then you have to go to down forward. So it's a pretty complex motion. Woo, 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 right? It's a big thing. You have to do it fast, then press punch in order for this move to come out. Capcom said, well, we're bringing back Street Fighter for the first time in like 7-8 years. We realize that most people wouldn't have played Street Fighter in a long time. We need to dumb this game down so people who don't play Street Fighter can play this game. So what did they do? They made it so that you literally don't have to do any of the motion I just mentioned. You could just take your D-pad or your joystick and just double tap in the down forward direction and press punch, and your fucking Dragon Punch comes out. This wasn't like a glitch or unintended. They did it on purpose because they wanted to sell their game to a more widespread audience who didn't have the execution or skill to play Street Fighter at a competitive level. They wanted to make the game incredibly easy to play for basically people who just don't have that time or that experience. And there was big backlash because what you saw, you had people who had never played Street Fighter before ever. And it was their first Street Fighter game. And they were learning the abusive strategies with characters like Sagat, where all Sagat needed to do was land one of his Tiger Uppercuts, which is the same exact motion as the Dragon Punch and had that same shortcut. He could cancel into another move, then cancel into a super, and he could do like 60% damage to you in that first version of Street Fighter 4. And it was incredibly easy to do because you didn't need execution. You didn't need to time it or execute it. Someone's jumping at me. Tap, tap, button. Oh, I win the match. And people were like, huh? You know? But over time, that game evolved and, different patches or whatever that made it different. But that was a perfect example of a franchise that up to that point had been incredibly difficult, and they dumbed it down, all right, for the masses to make more money, all right? Sadly, again, what we see now is look at modern game. Street Fighter V, that game has almost no execution needed. You could play that game for a week, and you'll know everything in the game and have no problem executing any of it. It's like not an execution-heavy game at all. It's more about knowing patterns and mix up 50-50s and shit, which is just bad. Because overall what's happened is you see the quality of fighting games dumbed down so that they could try to sell more copies. And this is happening with a lot of genres. Then you get a game like Cuphead, okay? Didn't have that, and everyone freaked out. They were mad that they couldn't beat the game. For me, here's what I believe, all right? Here's what I believe. If you're going to have a competitive game, the game should have an easy mode. But that game should not be able to play competitively on an easy mode. So, for example, Street Fighter 4 should have had a mode where you have those input shortcuts, but that's not ranked matches. That's player matches only, and when you actually go to a tournament, they're not going to have a tournament with the input shortcuts on. That's for people who can't handle the heavy execution of fighting games, and instead, that's for people who are just casuals, who just want to play through the game, maybe see the story, play some online matches and mess around with it, but you don't care about being the best competitive player, right? Now, Cuphead does have an easy mode, but you cannot beat the whole game with easy mode. You can only get through it to a certain extent. You can't get past certain bosses and stuff playing with easy mode. You definitely can't see the ending. No, I'm sorry. I don't believe that every single game made out there should be super easy. There has to be some kind of an execution level and some kind of a challenge level, or else some games just won't even be fun, right? One of the reasons that Dark Souls is such a fun franchise is because, yes, you're going to die a ton to cheap shit, but once you overcome it and you persevere, you get a feeling of accomplishment. What if Dark Souls was just as easy as every other game? It has easy checkpoints, you don't lose anything, there's no consequences for dying. Then what's the point, right? That's the reason why Dark Souls is a popular franchise, because it did not cater to the mainstream masses and instead insisted on being a hard, grueling series. So, I disagree. I don't think that there should be games that every game is super easy and every game has an easy mode. I'm sorry if you're one of these people that can't beat the game. Then guess what? Go watch someone play it who can. It's not like there's not countless amounts of YouTubers and streamers and people who can show you the stuff you can't do yourself and or give you tips on how to beat it yourself. I'm sorry, it's just bullshit. Why should every game be easy because you're not good at games? So ruin everything, right? Ruin absolutely everything because there's a few people who can't handle it. It's this mentality. It would be like one person. Well, I guess that's a bad example. There's a few examples, but I don't agree with the group mentality that everyone should suffer because one person can't handle it. If there was a classroom of students and there were 2 students in this classroom that for whatever reason could not get algebra, does that mean that we just strike algebra from the entire fucking classroom of kids because it's too hard for 2 of the kids out of the whole class? You know what I mean? Then no one learns algebra. You know what I mean? And then, so you see what I'm saying? If we dumb down games to the point where every game's just piss easy, then you've lost something there. And I don't agree with that at all. Okay. Next question is from I Am Curla. This is Phil. I wanted to know if you had any memorable Christmas experiences in your past, like a funny story or something along those lines. Nothing funny in particular. Like, I don't particularly remember too many times when, like, at Christmas there was something hilarious, laugh out loud funny. I have a lot of Christmas memories in my head of things. Like I said, I used to spend the holidays with my family. And in a lot of cases, I do have nostalgic feelings. I miss that because I know that my family doesn't talk to each other anymore. And a lot of them have moved away from where they used to live and they don't have contact anymore. And I will never have like a down home family Christmas anymore where everyone gets together. You know what I mean? And that sucks. It really does suck. I would like to have that. And I don't have that now because in a lot of ways, because of the shit that's happened with my family's quarrels and whatever over the years. And I pretty much just moved on and did my own thing. But no, Curla, sadly, I don't really have... A lot of people wonder, GDO, can you tell us a hilarious Christmas story of when your uncle fell off the chair and it fucking, got drunk? I don't really have any crazy Christmas stories like that. The only thing I can tell you, I I did kind of have a little bit of an eccentric uncle who he did some weird things. Like, he lived in Connecticut his whole life, yet he wore boots, like cowboy boots. Like, dude, you live in Connecticut. Like, what? And I remember this one Christmas, he wore snakeskin cowboy boots. And oh my God, my cousins were all girls. They made fun of him so bad that fucking Christmas. It was nuts. Like, they made fun of him so bad. Like, he thinks he's a fucking cowboy. He walked into Christmas wearing snakeskin cowboy boots, you know. And now people are posting up my cowboy hat emo. But imagine that. Imagine if I showed up for Christmas wearing a cowboy hat. You know? It's out of place. Kind of weird. So, I don't know. But no, in particular, no, I don't have any, like, hilarious Christmas stories. I wish I did, but I actually don't. All right. Next question from Anthony77FW. Anthony asks the following. He says, Phil, after this year's releases of both Resident Evil 7 and The Evil Within 2, where do you think that the survival horror genre is with video games, and where is it currently heading in the future? Based on your enjoyment and praise for both of these games, would you say that the genre is heading in the right direction, or perhaps something else? What are some hopes and wishes that you have for the future horror games, and what advice would you give to developers on how to create one? Keep up the great work and stay strong. For me, survival horror has two key elements. Psychological horror, meaning it makes you think about, oh God, what's around the next corner? What's around the next bend? Is there something crazy happening in the plot line that makes you wonder, like a mystery element, suspense element? Is there a build? Who's the villain? What's going on? What created these monsters you're fighting? What's this? What's that? That kind of the element, the uncertainty, that build is a key part of survival horror. Because if you know everything that's going, well, it's mutants. Oh well, kill all the mutants. That's not so scary. If you don't know what's going on, oh my God, there's these mutated creatures. We don't know what caused it. We got to find out what's happening. Will there be a super mutant at the, what's going on? Do we have to save the world? Is it horrible? Those kind of lingering psychological horror elements is what makes a scary horror game, in my opinion. In addition, I will say this, not watered down gameplay. And what I mean by that is, look at Evil Within 1 versus Evil Within 2. Evil Within 1 was tough, but most of the game was not psychological horror. It was gore. It was just gore for the sake of gore. Yeah, you were wondering what was going on for most of the game, but, here's rip the body parts apart, and there's fucking heads flying, and intestines going here and there, guys chopping each other up, and shit like that. But the core gameplay was just run and gun. Grab some weapons, grab the ammo off the ground, fight the enemies. And honestly, I never really was in a situation in that game where, like, I was low on ammo or whatever. It was pretty easy. I think the very end, it was a little bit of a challenge because there was a gauntlet at the end. But for the most part, the game was not very difficult. You were able to just get right through it, right? Now, Evil Within 2 decided to change that up. First of all, way more psychological horror. It wasn't just about gore. There was more going on there in the game. A lot of more air of mystery in that game as well. Who are these people? What's going on? Whatever. And then number 2, they improved the gameplay because they made it, yes, the ammo actually was way more limited. It was way more challenging in a lot of ways. They changed variety of gameplay. It wasn't just linear and easy mode. It was open world. Now you can either try to just get from point A to point B like you're supposed to do for the story, but now there's optional content, side missions and stuff for you to do. See what I mean? That's kind of where survival horror can shine. Look at a game like Resident Evil 7, where Capcom took all the feedback from Resident Evil 5 and 6, where everyone said the game's too easy, dumbed it down, and just made it a run-and-gun shooter. And instead, they made it a more grueling survival first-person horror game with jump scares, with psychological horror, with limited item use. Yes, all those things were elements returned to the game, and the game was a huge success because Capcom returned to those elements, right? That's what I think is the core to a good game, a good survival horror game. So, just having blood and gore, right, and jump scares, and dumbed down gameplay for the masses, which we were just talking about in a previous question, does not make a good survival horror game. Having challenging gameplay, limited item use, psychological horror, variety, that's the kind of stuff that makes a good survival horror game, in my opinion. And with the direction that Resident Evil 7 and Evil Within 2 have taken this year, 2 thumbs up. I'm feeling very positive for the future. Real quick, let's do some shout-outs because a few people have been cheering and I forgot to do shout-outs for them. Kekin did a 10-bit cheer, and he says, the hard irony of Street Fighter 4 is that now modern gamers are considering it one of the technically hardest games. I actually miss Street Fighter 4. Go ahead and call me an 09er. Yeah, it's funny because that's hilarious, right? I just told you guys how dumbed down Street Fighter 4 was. But a lot of people say, oh, that game was so technically hard. The modern games are much easier. It's true. Games have become even more watered down now. Street Fighter 4 was not technically difficult at all. I grew up in an era when you needed to have tough, muscle memory and tough reactions and everything. I can't wait for people to try to play Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo in this upcoming anniversary collection and just suck monkey shit. They're not going to get no reversals. Nothing's going to come out and they're going to rage because they don't have that. They've played all the dumbed down versions of crap over the past decade. They haven't played real fighting games that required skill. Big TJ did a 10-bit cheer. He says, what's the fun in a game without challenge? I agree. Now, there are games that maybe lend themselves to being more fun. For example, Until Dawn was a game that didn't need challenge because that was more choose your own adventure. Save this person, don't save this person. Make this choice, make that choice, because it was a horror movie theme. And after you'd played it once, you wanted to go back and play it again to try to make the other things happen, right? But that's its own genre in itself. Not every game should be dumbed down. Variety is the spice of life, folks. Okay. Noxie did a 10-bit cheer and says, how is adding an easy mode so more people can enjoy the game ruining everything? You don't have to play the easy mode. That's true, but then what is the point of playing the hard mode? See what I'm saying? For example, again, Dark Souls. If Dark Souls was easy and you didn't die and there were easy checkpoints and infinite respawns and there was no penalty for dying as much as you do, the game wouldn't nearly be as fun, honestly. You take away an element of the achievement feeling of being good at a game when you make it that a game's easy. There should be certain franchises that are challenging, and it should be their hook. I just told you, variety is the spice of life. Not every fucking game should be exactly the same so that everyone can play it. That's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous. All right, then let's dumb down all sports. All sports now, baseball, we're going to dramatically reduce the size of the bat and the ball. The person who throws the ball is going to be right in front of you like this, and you just go. And to walk, first base is right here, so you just move your foot. First base, right? See what I mean? If there's no challenge, there's no element of challenge or difficulty to things, they don't become fun or interesting anymore. You can't dumb down everything, folks. You can't. You can't do it. Okay? Super Potatoes 1989 did a 1,000-bit cheer and says, have you ever tried any games in the Gears of War series? Yes. I actually have full playthroughs of Gears of War 2 and 3 and Judgment and 4 up on YouTube, it's mostly on DSP Gaming is that channel, but there may be one, I believe like Gears of War 2 might actually be on my old channel, Dark Side Phil. And I played the multiplayer of all those games when it was available as well, and there's footage of that as well. So yeah, I have played many games in the Gears of War franchise. The only one I didn't do a playthrough of for YouTube was Gears of War 1, actually. All right, let's continue. Okay, I summarized and or reworded a question from someone because the way that they had worded it was kind of confusing. So bear with me. Basically, this question is reworded. So the person who asked it, Barbatin52, apologies, I didn't use your wording, but I tried to make it better so people could understand what you were saying, okay? You've operated for almost 10 years doing everything yourself. Most people who do YouTube full-time have other people who assist them with things like video editing, or they collaborate on content. Well, except for co-op gameplay that you've done over the years, and that one time that you did Project 7, you've done pretty much everything solely by yourself for the greater part of a decade. Have you ever considered changing your structure to make things easier? Was there a reason that you didn't and you always flew solo? Well, folks, good question. It's true. If you look at YouTubers who've been around as long as I have and or have seen a mainstream popularity the way that I got, most of them went off and look, again, I mentioned the Creatures earlier. A collaboration of people who had funny personalities and were gamers who got together and did this thing. And yes, now they've broken up and they all have their own individual things going on. But my point is, a lot of people have seen success. Look at how many, tons of them, right? I mean, I could sit here, pretty much every major gaming YouTube channel you could think of is probably a collaboration channel or does major collaborations, right? Think of it. Yeah. Very, very few and far between where you wouldn't see a big guy do collaborations or stuff like that. And or get so big that they have teams of people who work for them, you know, do the video editing for them. And do you think that Angry Joe sits there and video edits every video he does? Do you think he does every single part of the cinematography of every video he does? Of course not. His videos wouldn't nearly be as good as they were if it was all just on his shoulders. He divvies that work out to skilled people who all do little pieces and put together this really polished, nice product, right? I've never done that. Literally, the only thing I've ever done that was ever like that was Project 7. And you saw Project 7, compared to the shit that I put out myself, was really good, right? So that being said, now people are being dicks. Jeff Oliver, who said his videos are good? I say his videos are good, goddammit, so take that shit. I know his videos are good. They got high production value, they look great, and that's because he has a team of people who all work hard on it and make it a fucking awesome product, right? I couldn't do that. I could never do anything like that by myself. I'm terrible at video editing. I don't have any cinematography experience. I don't own any good equipment or anything to film well. I'm certainly not a comedy writer. Like I said, the best stuff that I've done is always on-the-fly reactions, not planned out scripted comedy. I'm not that kind of guy, you know? So there you go. That being said, have I ever had a plan to change my structure, or there was a reason that I didn't? Actually, and this is the truth, and I really haven't talked about this too much. I've only talked about this a few years ago, so this is a good time to bring up this question. There was a time, it was actually late 2011, early 2012. I was considering getting an office in Connecticut. And what I mean by that is I was going to rent an office. Keep in mind, I was making so much more money back then. I was making, I'm not exaggerating, 3 times more money back then than I make now. Okay, actually, no, oh shit. At that time, I was making 4 times more money than I make now. Holy shit, I just realized, I just thought about my taxes last year because I just looked at them the other day and how much I actually made net. I made 4 times more money back in 2011 than I do now. Fuck, dude. So, I was, at that point, I was like, because you keep in mind, I was doing all my stuff out of the condo in Connecticut, which was terrible. The acoustics were terrible. For tax purposes, I couldn't write off having an office because it was my living room. And basically, the quality of my stuff was not as good as I wanted it to be. What I wanted to do was get an office where I could have one room that was the recording studio. Just like I do here. I have soundproofing foam. I would have my gaming equipment in there. Then I would have other rooms where I could do other kinds of filming. I could have a green screen where I could do stuff like that. I wanted to do a gaming news show. And I did. I wanted to bring in other people to be part of my content, whether it was John or Howard or other people who were my friends and stuff, and bring them in to do shows with me and everything. This was my idea. I wanted to basically create the creatures. I wanted to do that. Like, that's kind of the idea I had. And then, sadly, it never happened because a couple reasons. Number one, all right, I didn't want to do, I ultimately decided I didn't want to do it in Connecticut because when I looked at the taxes in Connecticut, the taxes are sky high. There's state income tax, which is not in other states. So I was like, why the fuck am I going to be in a state where I pay state income tax when I can move to a state that doesn't have it, save a ton of money on taxes, okay? It didn't make sense to establish myself that way in Connecticut because it was too costly, too expensive. And number two, honestly, excuse me, at that time was when I started getting into a serious relationship. And I was like, I don't want to live in this condo in Connecticut. I couldn't live with two people living in that condo. Is way too fucking cramped. And I know because the people who I bought that condo from were 2 people living in that condo for a year. They couldn't stand it. They wanted to get the fuck out of there, and they did. They sold it to me. Now, I was in a relationship. I didn't want to live there with someone else. I wanted a bigger place. And again, I didn't want to buy a place in Connecticut with these crazy-ass high property income taxes and all that shit. I wanted to get out of that element. If I was going to do a home office or rent an office or do this, professionally as a high quality thing, I wanted to do it outside of Connecticut, which ultimately became my goal to move out of Connecticut, and eventually I did. I moved across the country to Washington State, right? And now you see, it's true. The quality of my stuff, my videos, my streams, everything has gone dramatically up since I moved here and I have my own home office. It's been a lot better than it was back in Connecticut, right? So that's why I didn't do it. Now, good thing I didn't do it. Can you imagine if back in Connecticut, I had rented an office and did lease agreements and I hired people to do my video editing for me and I had all these projects going on. And then all of a sudden, YouTube decides that I'm a villain like they did. And all of a sudden, my views plummet and now I can't afford any of it. Or vice versa. Imagine if I had become popular and then all of a sudden in early this year, YouTube ad revenue fell out. And now I can't afford any of it. I can't afford the office, can't afford to pay my employees, can't afford anything, right? That's what happened to a lot of people. There were entire YouTube channels that were making hundreds of thousands of dollars, some of them millions of dollars, and their channels went from making that down to making like 10 grand a year because of YouTube's demonetization policies this year. So I could have went out of business. So in a lot of ways, I guess I'm happy I didn't do those things back then. All right. All right. Okay. I got one more question to answer, and I'm going to do shout outs, and then we'll take a break. All right. So the question I'm going to answer actually was from a troll who was trolling another other threads. We found out his IP it was the same person that had already been banned from the forums, but he actually asked a pertinent question attempting to troll me. But the question actually is a question that if I answer it is going to have completely the opposite effect. So I'm going to answer it. So this question was from Greasy Pickle. And the question was, with everything going on with having time... wait a minute. This is completely worded wrong. Wow. Let's try this again. My question is, with everything going on with... All right, I'm going to read this in English because he didn't write it in English. Wow, the great troll. You go to your fans for things like donations and tips. That's true, I do. Well, I don't go for donations. I go for tips. Tips is not donations, by the way. Completely different. Classified different by the government. Classified different by the taxes. They're tips. They're not donations. No one donates this money to me on stream or anything like that. But anyway, how would 2012 DSP, who gave everyone who took donations back then a tongue lashing, perceive the 2018 DSP? And if 2018 DSP could talk to 2012 DSP, what would you tell him? All right. Great. Let's be an honest answer here, because this is not how you think. In 2012, I was very verbally critical of people who took donations. And I said, listen, if you're a YouTuber in 2012 and you're not making ends meet and you're trying to do this full time, and with things how they are now, if you can't make a living doing the way that it is, and you have to ask for donations constantly and interrupt your content to have plugs and sell products constantly, all right, you're doing it wrong. Okay? And that's what I said in 2012. Guess what? I still agree. In 2012, ladies and gentlemen, the climate of YouTube was way different. In 2012, ad revenue on YouTube was insane. Okay? It was insane. Ad revenue was at its highest ever in early 2012. Okay? And the people who I were criticizing, I wasn't criticizing the little Joe YouTuber who didn't have any audience and now he's asking for donations so he can afford to buy games to continue on with his channel. I was criticizing big YouTubers who were as big, if not bigger than me, who I knew how much money they were fucking making on YouTube. I'm going to tell you right now, 4 times more than I make now. It was a lot of fucking money. Okay? A lot of money. For those people to be telling you they needed donations was dishonest. It was a lie. And I'm not going to name any names. I have 2 YouTubers in particular who back then, they were up-and-coming YouTubers and they were starting to blow up on YouTube around the same time that I did. And they were constantly saying, here's my PayPal, send me money. And I was like, dude, your videos are getting hundreds of thousands, if not more views. You're making crazy money on every video you fucking put out. And you have the audacity to ask your viewers to donate. Now, I knew firsthand behind the scenes how much money I was making. And I would compare myself to these YouTubers and be like, that's so fucking greedy. And I even said back then, the only time that I would ever ask you guys for pledges, donations, tips would be if it were a situation where just YouTube ad revenue was not good enough to allow me to keep doing what I do. And that's exactly what happened. I moved across the country in 2014, and then all of a sudden, giant revenue dip in 2014, 2015. And I said, the only way I'm going to be able to keep this going is if I have Patreon. So I adopted Patreon. And then this year, again, YouTube ad revenue went crazy low for everybody. I said, the only way I'm going to be able to keep this going is if I leave the YouTube only model and become a full-time streamer and have things like cheers and subs and tips. Okay? No, I'm not 2012 DSP rolling in fucking dough and then going on stream and saying, please send me tips and send me donations and send me this. That's nuts. I still to this day cannot believe these 2 people who I used to see on YouTube asking for money. I feel bad for the fucking people who sent them money. There are people on YouTube and Patreon, folks. I couldn't believe this too, okay? their videos on YouTube, getting hundreds of thousands of views on every video. They then had Patreon campaigns send us on a European vacation. But, oh, it won't be a vacation because we'll have a meetup in every country. We'll have one meetup in every country that we hit. So even though it's really literally a paid vacation across fucking Europe for us, we'll stop and have one fan get together in every country. And so it's kind of like it's for the fans. And people funded it. These people who make so much dirty money, thousands of dollars on fluff videos, no fucking effort or of anything put into these videos, then got a free paid vacation. I look at that shit. That's the stuff that I used to speak up against, all right? Because that's gross. That's gross misuse, all right, of your viewer base and your fanship, all right? It is. It's just disgusting. Now, for me, it wasn't until 2015 that I ever asked for a penny from anyone. When I started up my Patreon, I created free videos for all of you and live streams from 2018 all the way until 2015, 2008, I screwed that one up. From 2008 all the way until 2015. It wasn't until 2 years ago that things got so bad on YouTube that I had to start asking for other contributions. Everyone fucking else asked for them before me. There are YouTubers right now on YouTube who have 20 times more views than me that have a fucking Patreon, all right? That's disgusting. And the fact that people would fucking pledge to that, I mean, guys, and I'm being real talk here now, I know. And people don't like it sometimes when I get real talk. Oh my God, too bad. That's what made me a name on YouTube. It's time to get real. I'm in a situation right now with taxes that I did not create. I'm in a situation where I was paying a tax attorney for 6 straight years to do his job, and for 3 years that I lived here, he didn't. He lied to me and didn't do due diligence. I now owe so much back taxes that I don't know if I'm going to ever be able to pay it unless I sell my house. That's fucked up. So when I come to you and I say, please pledge to my Patreon and make a monthly goal happen because I really need the funds right now, please tip me on the stream so I can raise enough money to keep my house. I'm being real with you, all right? I'm telling you the truth. I'm not a YouTuber who's rolling in dough where every month I make, $20,000 on YouTube, and then I have the fucking audacity and greed and balls to ask you for patron donations and tips and shit. That shit is disgusting. It's like it's the rich getting richer, And I'm sure those people are real pleased this year with these new tax cuts that just happened because their taxes are now going to go down and they're going to make so much more money. It's just like nuts to me. I mean, I'm barely making ends meet here. And I got to get shit from someone like this troll who basically the reason they asked this question was to say, see, Phil, you changed. 2012 DSP would have made fun of 2018 DSP. 2012 DSP had no debt. 2012 DSP was rolling in money from insanely high YouTube ad revenue and said it's dishonest for people in my situation to be asking for donations and tips and shit. 2018 DSP may lose his house in the next couple months because I got fucked by some asshole in Connecticut. And I got fucked by trolls over the past 3 years who fucked my business over and made my YouTube revenue plummet. And now I got fucked again when YouTube ad revenue plummeted earlier this year because of YouTube's mistakes. That's the difference here, okay? Very different. So your question literally backfired and just proves my fucking point. That there are people out there that people throw money at who don't need it and fucking are hoarding it over here in some fucking offshore bank account and or living it the fuck up. I mean, they get to go to every fucking gaming convention. They get to, they pay, full ride and everything, pay everything. They get everything for free from sponsorships, rolling in money, but they still have a Patreon. They still get tips and shit. But God forbid me, who is the same as you, who pays for games just like you, who literally is just trying to keep what I've been doing from 2008, never had aspirations to be some big wig, never thought that I was better than anyone else. Someone like me ask you for some support during the holiday season because I might lose my house. I'm the villain. I'm a horrible person because 2012 DSP would have never done that. Get the hell out of here. If anything, a question like this from a moron just proves what a moron, immature troll this person was. They're not an adult who understands real fucking life. That you couldn't even understand that maybe in 6 years, the climate has fucking changed. Get the fuck out of here. So, and then of course, 2018 DSP could talk to 2012 DSP. What would you tell him? A few things. I would tell him a few things. I would tell him, first of all, save as much money as you can and don't blow it on superfluous shit. Because I did over the years. I was spending money on stupid models and shit like that. And I'll be honest, even going to conventions and stuff, I didn't need to blow the money I did. I spent a lot of money going to conventions and stuff, paying for hotels and everything. There was no reason for me to do that. I should have saved a lot of those funds because that could have been money that over time would have helped me. I would have told myself that if I was going to move across the country anywhere, that basically to be very conservative. Don't go crazy with your budget and overspend furnishing a house or whatever, because you never know what's going to happen with the climate of YouTube or the climate of the job that you're doing. And the other thing that I would say, don't trust anyone. And I hate to say that because, 2012 DSP, keep in mind, I was still doing co-op with John and Howard. I was making Project 7. Obviously, at that point, I was still living in Connecticut. I had a tax attorney there that I trusted still. The bottom line is, over the years, I've been far too trusting of too many people. And those people have come back and bit me in the ass every fucking time. Every time. Like, literally every time that I think, wow, here's someone who's cool to me, who's someone who's nice to me, someone who I can trust, someone who I can, plan the future with, and then they shit all over me. Sometimes not even telling me that there's something wrong until after the fact that they've shit on me. So, seriously, I have to be like Stone Cold fucking Steve Austin. Don't trust anyone, because every time that I've tried, even if I moved across the country, the first thing I said when I was going to move to Washington, I should get a new tax attorney, because I don't think this guy in Connecticut might be able to do it. I asked him, oh no, I could do it, don't worry. And then he fucks me over, I should have said, fuck him, sorry, I'm getting rid of you because I need to get someone new who knows the tax laws in Washington, and I would have been in a better position. But no, man, seriously. It just, anyway, the question's done with. Now let's do some quick shout-outs and then we'll take a break. Thank you to Romy Rowe, who did a 25-bit cheer. El Rariachi did a $2 tip and asks, are you going to the Kilroy conference? I understand they have openings for their panel slots. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what Kilroy means. I certainly don't have any money or time or anything to go into conferences. That was things from way in my past, and I probably will never go to another one again. Exception being, maybe one day I'll cover something like E3, but don't expect me going to like these gaming conventions and things in the future. It's not going to happen. Noxie did a 10-bit cheer and complained that I did not answer their question at all, so they're going to ask another question. All right. How does having an easier difficulty setting in a game like Mass Effect Andromeda and Assassin's Creed Origins narrative modes ruin it for everyone? Hell, even a hardcore shooter like Doom has an easy mode. Those games are not games based on difficulty. Dark Souls is. Cuphead, if it was an easy game, would not be a good game. It would just be an easy game you beat in 3 hours, and you would say it's a ripoff. There are games where difficulty is the selling point of the game. Those games should not be dumbed down for the masses. The games you mentioned are not games based off of a difficulty setting that is hard, and that's why it's the selling point of the game. Therefore, that's why your point does not make sense. And thank you, Dooley, for the $5 tip. Very much for your support, ongoing, Dooley. I appreciate that. All right. It's time for the break, folks. And then when I come back, it's time to finish up. I've got, let's see here. A few more forum questions and then a few Twitter questions. So we're doing good. We'll definitely be able to wrap up in the third and final part. So, again, if you're watching on Twitch, it's going to be a few minutes break. If you're watching on YouTube, that's the end of this video. Check out part 3, okay? Thanks, everyone, so far. It's been a great show. I'll be back in about a few minutes, and we will wrap this up. Happy holidays, and see ya in a few.